hold on. Let's go here and
What are you
bring
doing,
this.
Perry? Just chill out. Just stop.
Bring the screen. Bring
No,
the screen full screen,
no,
please.
no. I'm not doing anything. You're just gonna chill out. Stop moving around. Stop bopping around. I was saying a lot of people are excited about you gaming, and they they want to play you in like multiplayer games and stuff. So
Not this Wednesday. Maybe next week.
oh no, maybe this Wednesday we're gonna do
No, I'm
some
out of
stage.
town. I'm
No, you're
going.
not,
I'm
Perry.
going to the
You're
snow.
not. Everybody
I
knows you're
am
not in the
going to the
snow.
snow. Fuck
Perry,
everybody.
you're not a snowboarder. You're not going to be a
Kiss my
snowboarder.
ass.
You're
Go
not
fuck
going to be in the
yourself.
snow. No, you're
I'm
not
going
going
to
to.
the snow.
No, you're
Fuck
not.
you.
Everybody knows you're not going to be in the snow.
Goodbye.
Perry,
Goodbye. Good fucking bye.
everybody knows you're not going to be in the snow because you're not a snowboarder.
Kiss my ass, bitch. Good night.
All right, good night, Perry.
Good night.
Good job.
Good night.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Not a snowboarder, by the way,
Not professionally.
or any other way. Not
Yes, I will
amateur.
be.
Not casually.
Yes, I will be.
Not you're not a snowboard hobbyist. You're not a you know what you are. You're a snowboard collector. You collect snowboards, but you don't actually use
Yeah,
them.
I only collect one snowboard that I snowboard on when I am able.
That snowboard will never see snow.
That snowboard is going to see snow. And it will be Wednesday. Wednesday.
Oh, okay, everybody, let's place your bets right now. When we come back Friday, is Perry going to tell us about his tales in the snow?
Yeah, I'm going to show you a picture of me in the snow.
Yeah, I know it's not going to happen. Perry, 'cause
Wednesday afternoon when I get back.
see, here's what's going to happen. We're going to get in this really annoying cycle now, where
Good night. Fuck off. God damn.
you're going to get into this cycle where you know that you have no business being snowboarding, and but tomorrow you're going to come to your senses and be like, I'm not going snowboarding. And then Friday, you're going to explain to people why you didn't go snowboarding. And then everyone's going to send in comments saying how you're not a snowboarder. And then you're like, tomorrow, Saturday, I am in the snow Saturday.
Bye.
And then we're going to get to Monday, and you're not going to be in the snow again. And it's going to just be this endless cycle.
Christ almighty already.
All right, good night.
Ugh, I'm going to throw up. Okay, this goes this way. Good night.
Well, thanks, guys. Welcome back to PCL. I missed you guys. I hope you guys missed PCL. We'll take our bets on whether or not he goes snowboarding on Wednesday. My bet is no. So, a quick question. I'm going to make my famous "I can't stay long" statement because I can't. But how did the stream look for everybody? Because obviously Perry's on a new computer. There's you know, basically for non-computer people, the big component of his new computer is the video card, the GPU, which processes all his video. Now, yes, it's for gaming and things like that, but what it really helps with is processing his image for the stream. And the one thing that's been driving me crazy is I've been going through a lot of old streams because I had to kind of edit and put together, I've said this before, but I'll say it again, a lot of older streams, and I mean streams prior to right around, I think, mid-July, before I got my own video card to process, the archives and everything like that. The archives are all kind of like, the audio's out of sync, and there's all kind of problems, and it's just this big taxing thing to have to go through them and piece them together and fix the audio sync, and also, I got to add in video footage, like if he took something with his camera, I put that in and everything like that. So over the break, I finally caught up on all that. So I got every stream we've ever done now is in the can, is in the bank, ready to go, which wasn't the case prior because I had all these problematic streams. So my video card fixed that. Once I got that in mid-July, the whole process changed. So he now has a video card in his, like a real robust gaming card, and I think it just makes his picture great. I'm working on getting it a little better, but I'm glad you guys think he looks good. It was very fluid. There's just too much drop frames. I hate watching these older streams because they look like shit. Do I believe Perry about Pornhub? No, I don't. I don't believe him at all. Yeah, we could possibly move to 4K. His camera is 4K. It would limit the bandwidth people on Twitch, but I was actually thinking of bumping it up to 1080 because I figure if you do have problems on Twitch, you could go to YouTube and scale it down if you really needed to. But yeah, you should see. I think I'll upload pictures of Perry's old keyboard. Oh my god, it was so gross. Like my friend Brian, again, shout out to my friend Brian who really hooked this whole thing up, getting Perry the new computer and delivering it and setting it up. But he took Perry's keyboard and I said, just throw it away. We kept his mouse, the old mouse. I thought, maybe somebody actually said, do we want to? Can he have it if Perry can sign it? But I don't know if that was a real offer or not. So he kept the mouse, the old mouse, but he has a new keyboard, and the old keyboard. Oh my god! I'll post pictures of it in the Facebook group, and you guys can see it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I think I posted it in Discord last week, but it is. It is unbelievable. You just gotta see it for yourself. It is. It's really gross. I mean, you've seen it on the stream, but you've never quite seen it like this. So that was a big deal, and I know, like, even like New Year's Eve, like looking back at that stream, and New Year's Eve was a great stream, but the video quality, like, he just kept lagging and going on and on. Yeah, I should post it in PCL Pets because I guarantee you there's some kind of life form on that keyboard, so it would qualify. But yeah, it's like just looking at the lagging nature of it, because that last thing he did, what was it, like maybe the week before Christmas, where there was he was watching some kind of porno thing and some pop-up screen came up, and he fell for it, called the number, and I don't know what exactly happened. There was a couple of weird it didn't go that far because it didn't like lock his computer. It wasn't quite ransomware. But it did some things where it just kind of crippled that system, and I cleaned it out. And you know what? And I was going to say, I should just completely wipe it and reinstall Windows. But I was like, you know what? Let's not jerk around. Let's just get a completely new computer. And I'm glad that he looked good, because even like when he darted up or when he was moving his hands around, you could see in the motions, it was just a lot more smooth. And normally when he would move like that, it would just like there'd be a enormous amount of drop frames where it would just look laggy and everything like that. And tonight definitely wasn't that. So that's good. Please tell me he's not watching porn on the computer. I can't tell you that. Can we call Perry again as Indian TomB? I don't have it in me to do the voice. I can barely hold it together with my own voice. Like, and even when I was doing Perry earlier, it was killing me because I can't talk that long without getting into these coughing fits and again, I've had this since New Year's Eve. It's been insane. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Danko's the guy that started PCL Pets, by the way. It's a great little group. Oh, I missed you too, Mandy. I really missed all you guys. I did miss the community. One of the things I did over the break is I really, apart from the occasional social media thing, I don't know, maybe posting stuff for like the YouTube premieres, like TomB Week specifically, and working on that. I really kind of went off the grid as far as social media goes. I didn't check. I barely even checked the groups, or I'd pop in the Discord every now and again. And I definitely popped into the YouTube premieres here and there. But I really kind of went off the grid social media wise. I didn't go on any social media really, and it was kind of nice to kind of be away from that, But I was still not feeling great, and I slept late a couple of times. I didn't really watch anything. I didn't see any movies or watch any shows or anything like that. But I watched a shit ton of YouTube and Price is Right. Where's PCL Pets? PCL Pets is on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. Like there's a Perry Caravello Facebook group, which is a huge community. But PCL Pets is kind of like an offshoot of that. So it's a Facebook group on Facebook. So unfortunately for people who hate Facebook, it's probably not going to be your bag. Yeah, exactly. If somebody asked me a question in Discord, I'd answer it, or if somebody sent me a message or something like that, I would get back to it. But pretty much, I was off the grid. And also, my sister was in town for a while. The first week, right up until just after New Year's, so that was nice. What kind of sickness do I have? I don't know. I had a fever the Thursday before New Year's Eve, the 30th of December. I had a pretty bad fever. And then I woke up the next day, which is New Year's Eve, still had the fever. And, excuse me, I'm going to be coughing a little bit here. I apologize for that. I felt nauseous. I felt dizzy, as Perry would say. And I just was very congested. In fact, if you listen back to New Year's Eve, definitely you could hear it in my voice. Yeah, and then over the next couple of days, like, it just manifested into different things. The fever broke that Sunday. I didn't have a fever anymore as of that Sunday. So, like, that was the 2nd of January. But that whole week, it went through, like, cold into, like... So, yeah, I think it was a flu. But it wasn't COVID. I got a COVID test. It wasn't COVID. I tested negative. Unless I got it somehow since then. Yeah, I don't know what it is, you know. And Teddy, who's 4, had bad croup, to the point where he had to go to the emergency room in the middle of the night, the week before Christmas, because he couldn't breathe. It was pretty scary, and I might have caught something from him, you know. But I don't know. I'm still dealing with it. Like, it's still... I'm much better now than I was even, like, 4 or 5 days ago. But because I was having a hard time breathing, and it's just, you know, all these things. But I feel like I'm at the end of it, and I keep saying that. I keep saying, oh, I'm at the end of it. And I take, like, Mucinex, and I take NyQuil, and I wake up the next day, and you get into this, like, when you're sick and you take NyQuil, you wake up feeling okay in the morning, but it's that NyQuil fog, and it gives you this false sense of, like, oh, I'm 100%, and then, you know, it wears off and you're not 100%. So anyway, I don't know, you know, I've just been, yeah, I've been taking loads of vitamins. I've been, you know, eating good. So, yeah, thanks, Stanko. Yeah, Teddy's a great kid, and, it was just, it's one of those things where you get really freaked out when a little kid is sick like that. But he rebounded. He's 100% now. Thanks for asking. During my illness, did Perry help me out? No, he did not. Not at all. Not at all. No. In fact, he'd be calling me at, like, he called me when the henchman left trash on his thing. And it did wake me up because he called me, like, back. I have this thing on my phone where after 11 p.m., my phone goes into do not disturb mode, right? But if you're, like, a favorite, like a person that I contact a lot, you can get through that if you call, like, twice in a row. It, like, bypasses it. So, of course, he called twice in a row and woke me up and had to tell me about that. So, yeah, that's... that's where, and that was kind of like what my break was, just kind of like chilling out a little bit and doing a lot of home stuff too. I had to do a lot of like house stuff, like the room I'm broadcasting in now is a room I've been working on for a while. So I had like electrician in here. I had to clean out the whole room. I did the worst thing ever. By mistake, that I'm trying to get over it, but I almost wanted to jump off a bridge when it happened. So I had these guys coming in to, like, wire the room, and I'm basically sealing the room up, but I wanted to wire it for, like, I'm getting, like, a lot of in-wall, like, speaker wire and stuff like that, because this will eventually be a media room. It's like an HDMI fiber optic cable behind the wall, all this stuff, you know, Ethernet cables, blah 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 blah. So I had to move all this stuff out of the room, and I have these very nice speakers. These speakers that I bought them used. I didn't pay full price for them, but they're very expensive, like audiophile grade speakers. I had them in storage for years, And they're sitting in this room, and I was moving this piece of furniture out, and I fucking knocked into one of the speakers, and it made this little ding, like this little scratch that's just driving me crazy. And if you ever want to see a grown man cry, it's just one of those things. As soon as I did it, I was like, ooh, oh no. And I checked it, and I ran my finger over it, and I could feel it. And I've been looking up like how to repair it, maybe use some like car wax or car polish or something like that, but it just drove me crazy. Rick, any luck in salvaging the tiki bar? Kind of, maybe. I'm surprised it hasn't collapsed, because I've had a couple of snowfalls and it's still standing. So, once the weather gets warmer, maybe I'll look. You know what? It can be salvaged. It just needs to be like some bamboo like put over it, and like I never did that tiki bar thing. That was my girlfriend who did that. She was trying to be nice and everything. It drives me crazy that due diligence was not done. But yeah, it can be like, basically, I want to put like bamboo veneers over it and make it look like, very tiki-ish. Because right now it doesn't. I think it can definitely be salvaged. It just needs to think. You know what, Nate? On the speaker thing, I haven't looked at it yet. I have the covers over it. I haven't brought myself to actually examine it, and I actually contacted the speaker manufacturer to see what they recommend for fixing the ding, because it's basically like black piano finish is what it is. It's very like heavy, like black lacquer, like piano gloss finish. So something like that. It's the smallest thing ever. Like you can't see it. It's one of those things where I know it's there. It's one of that. Have I considered moving to LA to avoid awful New York weather? No. But I would move to Orange County. If I could afford it. I can't. But no. Yeah, it's funny. It's been sort of a mild winter in New York, but this past week it's been really cold. It's really cold out now. It's really cold in this room. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but it's very cold in this room. But hopefully that's going to be alleviated soon once this room is finished. I would live in San Diego or Orange County in California, but I would not live in LA. Now, what am I going to do with the $23,000 Rice Krispie treat sent to me? Well, let me tell you, I have some. I'm already spending that money in my head. Again, I'd like to build up this. I'm thinking of some audio equipment I would buy for this room. I probably need half of it to pay the contractor off. So yeah, that money is pretty much already gone. But yeah, as far as living in LA, I used to think about it because I had a job offer once in LA where I would have had to move out to. It was a writing job that I would have had to relocate to LA, and I didn't take it, and I don't regret that. Welcome back, TomB. You've been missed. Well, thank you, Poo Poo. I've missed you too. I missed all you guys. Why hasn't Perry hooked up with me in one of his old places in Costa Mesa? By the way, yeah, Costa Mesa is the sweet spot. I would definitely like to be your Costa Mesa. Yeah, see, I'm not going anywhere near sanding or sandpaper for these. I'm not doing that. It's not that bad of a ding. In fact, it's so small, it won't even photograph. I tried to take a picture of it to send to somebody. I can't even photograph it. That's how small the ding is. It's a bare, like a hairline scratch. Can't see it, but if you run your finger over it, you can feel it, and I just want to find a way to fix it, because I've kept these things so nice. They've been in storage for like 5 years, and I finally took them out when I bought a house. I probably should have kept them in storage. Why was I so stupid to take them out of storage when I moved? I should have kept them in storage. Is there any way I could set up Perry's computer so he can't turn the power off? Probably. After Hours with TomB was the best stream of 2021. Thank you, yeah, you Chan. I don't know if everybody would agree with that, but thank you. What kind of speakers are they? Okay, they are Focal. It's a French company. Focal, and they're Sopra 2s. The Sopra line, S-O-P-R-A, Sopra 2s. They make a Sopra 1, a Sopra 2, and a Sopra 3. The 3 is very, very big. The 2s, like tower speakers. And they retail in fact, I think they just went up in price. I think as of January, they're probably like, I don't know, they're probably $20,000 a pair. But I didn't pay that. I didn't pay anywhere near that. The regular price I think was $16,000 a pair. Now they're like audiophile grade speakers, and I got them on AudioGone, which is it's kind of like an eBay for audio equipment, like high end audio equipment. Like a number of years ago, there was a guy who was moving. He was a doctor, this Indian doctor who was the previous owner, and he babied them, and he put them up there, and it was like he was moving out of the country, and he had to sell them, and he had them on there. I think that he had them on there for $7,000 for the pair, which is a lot of money for speakers. And at the time, it was definitely out of my price range, and I was able to talk him down because I went to pick. I could personally pick them up. He wouldn't have to do shipping and everything like that. So I got them for $6,000. That's which. To most people, is an insane amount of money to spend on speakers, and believe me, it was an insane amount of money. But I basically, that year that I got them, I had done well in some stock. I forget exactly what it was, and I basically used that to pay for them. But I couldn't use them because I lived in an apartment. At first I could. I lived in a garden apartment, which is first level. If you know what a garden apartment is, it's like first level, and I didn't really have any neighbors around me, so I was able to use them sporadically. And then I had my second apartment. I couldn't use them because it was on the third floor. Couldn't use them at all. So they've sat in storage. And I said, okay, one day these are going to be my end game speakers. Now that I have this house and I have this media room, I say media room, but it's just a room that's, I want to be a media room. So anyway, I had them out, and and I digged into it. It's just like, I'm so like Perry is with his microwave. That's how I am with my equipment. I'm very careful with stuff. And I wouldn't necessarily mind if a kid did it, like if Teddy came in and ran one of his cars over it and made a mark. I could probably find a way to get over it, but the fact that I did it drives me crazy. So anyway, that's what it is. Any feelings on season 4 of Cobra Kai? I got news for you, Poo Poo. I have not seen any Cobra Kai past season 2. And not because I don't like it. It's just I never got around to seeing season 3, and I will do it eventually. But I never got around. I didn't love season 2. I loved season 1. I didn't love season 2, and I just was never. It never was a priority to me to watch season 3, but I will watch it at some point. I will watch it. I haven't heard anything about season 4. What's my favorite game from the NFL playoffs this weekend? I'm not an NFL guy. I don't. I'm not a football guy at all. I'm a baseball guy, pretty much baseball only. So I have no rooting interest in the NFL. But good luck to everybody rooting for your team. I have no team. Cobra Kai comes off as a teen show. I can see why you say that, but they do mix it up a little bit. It got a little too much of that, and this is the reason I didn't like the second season. It got a little too jokey. It got a little too tongue-in-cheek, and it pulled me out of it. Season 1 was very grounded, where I felt this universe was real. I felt that they really broke that the universe of the Karate Kid. The world building wide open, introduced new characters, but also serviced the original characters with reverence and respect, and it was realistic. And then the second season just seemed like a comedy. Like they had that, I forget the actor's name, but that big fat guy joined Cobra Kai, and he did it for laughs when it was all kids. It was just, I don't know. I couldn't get into it. And I don't know how it's going to carry itself going on for more than 5 seasons, because you run the risk of it becoming cartoonish, because what are you going to do with it? But having said that, I've heard good things about season 3, and I would like to see season 3, and I will watch it eventually. I'm the same way with Better Call Saul. I was into that show, and then whatever season came out during the pandemic, I never watched, and now I feel like I'm so far removed from it that I'd have to watch the whole thing again, and I just don't want to commit to that kind of undertaking. I want to have my media room built first. Oh, and by the way, if you're looking for a TV, I've said this before in previous After Hours, but now is the time. This time right now, If you are looking for a new TV, which I am, this between now and the Super Bowl, the absolute best time to buy a TV in the entire year. It's not Black Friday, it's not Prime Day. It is right now. Football playoffs up until Super Bowl Sunday. It's when you see all the sales. It's for a number of reasons. It's because of football season, but it's also because CES just happened. All the manufacturers have announced their 2022 lineup, and they're trying to get rid of their old lineup. So the one that I've had the eagle eye for, the TV, it's still not cheap enough, but it's finally on sale, is the Sony A90J OLED Master Series. It's by far the best TV on the market, and it was $8,000. $8,000 for an 83-inch OLED TV. Now it's on sale for $5,000. Still out of my range, but it's on sale, which means other TVs are on sale. So it does have my radar up. So if you're looking for a TV, now is the time to buy. Would I let Perry on the Magic Hour if it was still on today to promote PCL, but Howard Stern was the second guest? And I said it sucked on the air without trying to promote it. Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's an actual, it's a 120 hertz OLED, but I think that's via firmware update that hasn't come yet. I think TBS Tampa Bay Seahawks asked, what do I think about Fire TVs? I think they're garbage. I have a Fire TV. Right now is my main TV. It's a 55-inch Fire TV that I think I paid $200 for on Prime Day 2 years ago. It's a piece of shit. I hate the Fire interface. The Fire anything, Fire Stick, Fire Box. I'm not an Amazon Fire fan. I think they're garbage. I have tons of problems with it. Every time, I run out of space easily to install new apps, and it also, for some reason, on my TV when I turn it on, and this is the Fire TV interface, it doesn't know if it's a tablet, a phone, or a TV, because all the apps start resizing like super small, and I got to reset the whole thing to reboot it, which takes forever because it's slow as hell. It's just I would never recommend a Fire TV. They're awful. The only reason I got it is it was super cheap, and I needed a TV. But yeah, if look, LG. Somebody says I love my LG OLED. Yeah, you're living life right. An LG OLED 65, you're not gonna get anything better than that. I mean, Sony and LG are neck and neck with the OLED, and then Samsung is a step below that. And I know this because I've been entrenched in TV research for a while. Don't buy a TV. Buy a Roku TV. But really, honestly, with all these smart TVs, and I go back to what earlier I was talking about setting one up for my mom, which has been a disaster. If you have a big TV and if you have any kind of remote home theater setup, whether you have a sound bar, don't rely on the TV to do your smart TV watching, because the TV can only do so much. It doesn't have the processor for it, even if it has built-in whatever. Get a separate box. Get a and the only two boxes to get are Apple TV or Roku. That's it. Or you want to get an NVIDIA Shield and really geek out, that's fine. But for most consumers, Roku or Apple TV. Forget about Fire. Fire is garbage. Roku for me is just easy. I'm not in the Apple ecosystem. And yeah, so I agree. Anybody who says Sony's the best, Sony, you're not getting any better than a Sony TV, whether it's the Master Series or not, because they have the best processor. There's a processor chip inside the Sony TVs, which no other manufacturer can rival. It just de facto. It up-reses, it makes things, and I've seen it in person. I've seen Sony versus LG versus Samsung, which are the big three. And then you got like the budget brands. Like I would replace the one in my bedroom with like a TCL TV or something like that, because I don't really care about that much. But anyway, that's our TV talk. Why isn't Perry on Tinder or Bumble or Grindr? I don't know. I think he's dabbled with that in the past, but it just, honestly, that would be a nightmare for us, for all of us, if he was concerned with that. I mean, look how he is with Instagram, for Christ's sake. Justin says, I was laughing when Perry said he was worried about getting sick, yet he has moldy ketchup on his ceiling. I know, that's true. Yeah, Nate, I know this. So Sony is great, except LG CX and C1 have 120 hertz 4K. Yeah, if you're a gamer and your primary concern is gaming, LG is the way to go. The LG OLEDs beat the Sony OLEDs for gaming specifically. It's not even a contest. That I do know. When is the physical challenge versus Perry going to happen? He keeps calling me fat. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to do a physical challenge, but just I guess the next TomB week we'll see. We'll see who's fatter, who's more fat. I will say, watching back some TomB week, I was just there was a couple of angles of TomB where I was just like, Jesus Christ, bro, way to let yourself go. Like it was pretty brutal. But hey, you know what? Whatever, man. You look like whatever you look like. I know it's funny to call Perry fat and everything like that. I'm not here to like body shame anybody. I'm certainly not one to talk. So, you got to do you, especially in this day and age. Whatever makes you having extra. I'm not the kind of person that carries extra weight well. I don't distribute. It goes all to my stomach or to my face. That's the only two places. From the waist down, I'm an Adonis, but it's just, it's just too much. And again, it was, my situation was, I was in not amazing shape. I was in really good shape for me, just prior to the pandemic. And then I had a situation where, I had a girlfriend, have a girlfriend with 2 kids, and the pandemic. There was a weird situation going on where she had to move or whatever. Then the pandemic hits. It's lockdown, I should say. So she moves in with me in my small 2-bedroom apartment with 2 kids, and the whole world comes to an end. So not only now, and I'm used to being like a bachelor, so not only now am I taking care of her, I'm taking care of 2 kids, plus Perry. And I'm sorry, but I'm drinking and eating like there's no fucking tomorrow. I'm going to have my daily Bloody Marys because, again, the world was ending. And I just indulged. But even when lockdown lifted, I never got out of that phase because also my work changed, everything changed. So I never got out of that headspace where I could just, any whim or a desire I had in my head, I can just execute and be like, boom, this is what I want to do. Yeah. And plus, and Perry's my 3rd kid, and at the time I'm paying Perry's rent. I'm making sure he's okay. So there's all these things going on, and that it takes a long time. And of course, and then the gym was closed down for 9 months or whatever. I forget when it opened back up, and I didn't go when it opened back up. Clearly. So anyway, but now the party's kind of over. But it was just super stressful, and I don't take out stress in other ways. I don't take out stress. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs or anything like that. So 175 in is a little rough for me. I think my ideal weight is probably 180, 185. Rick, what offended Jimmy Kimmel? Okay, I'll tell you straight up what offended Jimmy Kimmel. And I didn't know this. I heard through the grapevine that he was a little miffed at me because, and again, it was me and my big opinionated mouth. Something I said on After Hours where I was talking about Howard Stern and how the Howard Stern show is unlistenable, and I had said something along the lines of. I was going through the reasons, and I probably spent way too much time talking about why the Stern show sucks. But one of the reasons, and it wasn't exactly a hot take, was his friendship, Stern's friendship with certain celebrities, and I equated that to Jimmy, and of course that got back to him. You never know who's listening to this stupid After Hours. So that's what it was, and I rectified it. I'd like to think I rectified it. I took care of it, but yeah, he was none too pleased with old TomB. But yeah, I don't mean to make light of it. I legitimately felt bad because he felt bad, and I don't want to make people feel bad, no matter who they are. Yeah, that's what it was. Overall, to be fair, Jimmy's been extremely supportive of PCL and me and Perry. Like, not supportive in that he's like financially supporting anything, but he's been very complimentary to things. So I feel bad that I made him feel bad, basically. But actually, I sent him an email and everything, so I don't know. I'm probably putting my foot in my mouth again, even talking about it. But that's what it was. I value you guys more than I value that. So you ask a question, I'm going to give you straight. I'm going to shoot you straight. That's the honest answer. What's my favorite scene in Perry's episode of Smiling Friends? I actually like the small moments. I like when the flashback where he's arguing with Ketchup and Ketchup pushes him down, because I remember filming that at the time, and Zach, who is the co-creator and also directed that episode and directed Perry in the live action. I remember looking at the storyboards and trying to match what they were trying to do and have Ketchup push over Perry, and the fact that they were able to match it up so perfectly, I thought was great. So that's my little favorite moment. But I also love what they did when Perry's on the TV. His monologue was much longer, and it was edited down to what you see where they go into the restaurant and they see it on the TV. That was pretty good. And also, like I said, the scene with him and Mustard, where he's laying on the couch and Mustard is kind of giving him oral pleasure, that was much more like, he was really like I think I have it on video somewhere. I can't show it without permission, but he really went for it. He really went for it, and and during the shoot he was like, "You guys know I hate Mustard, right?" He's like, "Yeah, we know. That's why we did it." Yeah, never underestimate the reach of After Hours. And I'd be like, hey, I was as shocked as any of you when I got that news. Like, they were like, hey, and I heard the news through a third party, and let's just say, and I was like, oh shit, And again, I do have a big mouth. I know I'm an opinionated asshole, but the thing that I should understand though is, even though I have no personal relationship with him, I'm still, in a small way, I'm kind of under his overall umbrella, in a weird way, just because of the attachment to Perry and Windy City Heat and all that. So I should be more cognizant of that. But again, I can't. I am how God made me, as they say, and I am opinionated, and not that I don't. And I also gave. I'll say this too. This is the last I'm going to say about it. I feel like I'm saying too much, but I gave a genuine reason why. I said what I said. I said, I'm not for nothing, but there's a little bit of resentment there on my part for anybody that previously worked with Perry. I don't, and the way I kind of phrased it was, I don't know how I got to be the lucky one where I got to hold the bag for Perry when shit hit the fan, and nobody stepped up. Now, somebody like that could have snapped their fingers and ended Perry's plight immediately, and but they all knew about it, and they but it was just, everybody's just okay with me being the one to take care of it. Why did I get to be so lucky? So there was a bit of resentment there, and there was a couple other things too, which I won't get into. but yeah, that's definitely a part of it, and I was very honest about that. You know, one thing is like, you know, I think when you have to address something like that, whether it's like you at work or something like that, your boss has you or something, you know, I think the best way to address something is try to be as sincere and genuine as possible, and you know, are present. I was going to say argue your point, but it's not even an argument. Just present your point. And I think that's where I was with it. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it doesn't done. Yeah, Stern does not care about ex-staffers. No, Stern. You know, and again, nothing to do with Jimmy. Stern is an outright terrible person. Terrible person. Yeah, people that have worked with him forever and helped literally get him to where he was, he just completely shits on him and doesn't care. So, yeah. I'll be in the snow in 2 days. Nah, no apologies. I'm surprised that nobody brought that up previously. Like, nobody sent me any, like, a couple people sent me. Actually, that's not true. A couple people sent me messages. Being like, hey, what was the deal with that? Yeah, Danko, I'm not going to repeat what you said, but you nailed it. That's how I feel as well. So, you know, and Howard is Don Imus now. I think he's worse than Don Imus ever was. Don Imus was still a shred of his former self at the end of his career. You can't say the same about Stern. Perry deserved my Apple shares. I don't know about that. That's what it was. Actually, yeah. The Apple shares that I had, that I cashed out on, went to two things. Supporting Perry and my speakers that I just dinged up. That's what I have to show for it. Thanks, Vin. Yeah, Vin says, I kept Perry away from living in the gutter, and that's an honorable thing to do. Yes, I have no regrets about that. None whatsoever. I will never apologize for that. Why should I? If hypothetically Perry got offered a full series at Adult Swim and got $5 million contract and only gave me 3%, with that, but I don't know, 3% of $5 million is quite a bit, but no, I would negotiate for something higher than that. Yeah. It'd be nice to see a salty spinoff. Dozen says, Tom, who listens to Stern now? Who's his audience? You know, that's a good question. I think his audience is mainly complete sycophants who just will drink any Kool-Aid he's dishing out, or people that became fans over the past 10 years. I think he got a lot of new audience when he did America's Got Talent, and that's probably a big part of his audience now. But I have one friend, out of all my friends, and we all listen to the show, and we've all given up on it, but I have one friend that still listens, and every time this comes up in conversation, he says the reason he still listens is because, as bad as it is, and he acknowledges that it's bad and it's not as good as it used to be, as bad as it is, it's still better than anything else, which I disagree with. I think there is better out there now. But he said, you know, again, I think it's just habit. It's just habit. You know, I mean, I started listening to Stern when I was 9 years old, maybe earlier than that. I mean, he basically shaped my sense of humor, but as I've said many times, I stopped listening in 2015, and I never went back. It's hard for me to even listen to the old stuff now, which is sad. Perry should produce his own show for Adult Swim. It would be a train wreck and amazing at the same time. Yes, I agree with the train wreck part. Mancow is running for the governor of Illinois. Wow, I haven't heard that name in quite a while. No, I never listened to Ron and Fez. I missed that Ron and Fez train because I was never an Opie and Anthony guy. Again, I was completely, when Ron and Fez were a thing, I would only listen to Stern, and I don't just mean in the morning. Like, I would record the whole show, and then listen to it over the days. My friend needs to find Red Bar. Yeah, you know what? This particular friend would not like Red Bar, because you gotta be a very specific mindset to get into Red Bar. He wouldn't like it, because it's like you gotta be. There's a very mean spirited nature to Red Bar, which is funny in a way, but it's not for everybody. And also, most of the people that Red Bar talks about are obscure. Or, you know, it's definitely not for everybody. Yeah, I miss I miss Mike Francesa too. But I heard Mike is going to be doing something, not on WFAN. Mike Francesa is a local New York sportscaster who's part of Mike and the Mad Dog. I've heard that he is looking to do something, but not with WFAN is completely off the chart bad now. But yeah, I've heard he's going to do something. I don't know if it's satellite. He tried to do his own brand, uh, like his own app and stuff like that. It didn't work. What really happened with Red Bar, I don't know. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but I posted a thing today on the social media. The PCL checklist was kind of a nod to Red Bar, because um, Red Bar every couple of months posts this enormous checklist of things that they have to check off before they come back on the air. If you go to like Red Bar's Instagram, whatever. So I kind of just parodied that for PCL. So I don't know. Any interest in guest spot on In Hot Water to promote PCL? They would have me on for sure. I don't know, man. I don't know what Compound Media's reach is these days. In Hot Water, like how many people are actually listening to or watching that? I feel like Compound's days are numbered. But I don't know. The answer to that is I don't know. Somebody offered me to go on. There was some show on Compound Media. Somebody reached out to me and said, "Would you go on this show?" And I didn't even know it. I was like, I don't even know about that. I never heard of that show. I don't like Craig and Evan. Oh, first of all, I'm not listening that early in the morning. But no, I don't like. I like Evan, but I liked him better with Joe Benigno. I don't like Craig Carlin. Craig is just a very poor man's Mad Dog to me. I don't like. It's not for me. They don't have Steve Summers anymore, and I'm just talking about WFAN. No Steve Summers, no Francesa, no Joe Benigno. I'm out. It's just I can't listen to it. Yeah, Compound with Gavin was good until Gavin went crazy. Until political Gavin's show on Compound was great. But once Gavin left Compound was kind of the beginning of the end for Compound, and then I think Artie going on Anthony's show, and then that crashing into the ground, I think took it down even further. A lot of people discovered Perry through that Gavin McGinnis show. He brought in a lot of people, but I wonder though, the people that were really into the Gavin McGinnis show, 2015, 2016, let's say, or 14, how do you listen to him now on his own? What is it, like censored TV, whatever he has now? Like, do you still listen to him, or do you still follow him? But I don't know. Isn't Anthony though? Speaking of Compound Media, isn't Anthony like actively moving to South Carolina? There's no way he's gonna continue paying the enormous amount of rent he does on that studio, and it's not a studio; it's just an office. Oh, you found us through AN 1337. I know I'm not saying that right, but that's cool. A lot of people came from that too, so that's cool. Yeah, Dexter, I kind of agree with you. Yeah, I mean, and I hate to say that because I was pretty good friends with Gavin, but yeah, he's talk about being lost in the weeds. Did Yeah, I think there was some episode where he like put a dildo in his butt or something like that. It's so stupid. I don't know. It's a bummer. Yeah, he says he's keeping the New York studio. I don't see him once he's in his like, you know, big house in South Carolina. You see how much he's willing to pay, and I can only guess at how much rent that studio is per month. It's in Midtown Manhattan, right across the street from Penn Station. I know that I've been there a couple of times. Um, I gotta say that place has to be like shit. I'm just gonna pull a number out of my head here. It's got to be double digits. It's got to be over 10,000 a month. And I don't know what the subscriber count is. I know he doesn't pay the hosts anything. They don't pay the hosts anything. Like the hosts of the shows, at least as of a couple of years ago, were getting like $200 a show. And that's it. That's all they get. I mean, are you really? I mean, I don't understand why some of those guys just don't. If they have any kind of. Yeah, 20. It's funny. I was thinking 20 grand a month, Vin, and then I said no, it can't possibly be that much. But you might be right. It might be close to 20 grand a month. It's a crazy amount of money that you're paying for. It's not even that great of a studio. It really isn't. Do I know Chrissy Mayer? No, I know of Chrissy Mayer mainly from Red Bar. I know, but I don't know. I don't know her. It's weird how Gavin went from being a hipster. Look, Gavin was always good. If you look at Gavin in 2015, whatever, he had that movie How to Be a Man, which is actually funny to watch. It's based on his book. His book is fine. It's more like an autobiography, but uh, the show, the movie rather, is good. For what it is, and that's what Gavin was best at. Even if you didn't agree with him, he was better as a lifestyle guy, where he'd tell guys what to wear, or how to handle social situations, or how to behave in a bar and stuff like that. He was perfect for that. And then he just got caught in these political. He just never got out of it. A lot of people did that. I think a lot of people, a lot of these hard right people, especially after, not to get political, we're not a political stream, especially after Trump won, they just thought that they were going to take over. All these, even like Twitter people, like these like, whatever, these conservative reporters or whatever, or podcasters, they all thought that, oh, we're now going to take over the mainstream media. It's now cool. The conservative is punk rock and all this nonsense, and it wasn't, because they found a way to make it really cringe. And Gavin's just not a political guy, and he's just not. But he's so stubborn. He's like Perry. Gavin's like Perry in a lot of ways, where he hard commits to something and won't acknowledge that that he went too far, or it's because and it's like one of the reasons. We never had a falling out, but like I said, I remember saying something to him about like, hey, dude, don't you think this thing is going a little too, like, don't you think these guys like, don't you have a problem with these guys kind of dressed like neo-Nazis, whatever? He's like, no, they're great guys. No, they're awesome. We're gonna go to Vegas. And I'm like, okay, dude. And then there were like pictures of like Gavin hanging out with these like 20-something-year-olds in like some hotel in Vegas, and it was like whatever they called it. It was like some weekend they did. I was just like, oh my god, what is going on here? Like, are you hard committing to a bit? Because it's time to pull out. But yeah, it's I don't know, but that whatever. I no ill will. Yeah, the yellow and black Fred. Yeah, Fred Perry. Why would you wear a shirt that like Gavin all of a sudden says like everybody needs to wear a yellow and black Fred Perry shirt because this is our uniform now, and all these lunatics went out and like bought it, and it's like wait hold on, don't you see a pattern here? Like why would you? Would I have Gavin on PCL if he agreed to not be political? No, I wouldn't, because he fucked himself so bad. His name is so entrenched with that nonsense. Whether or not you believe it or not, whether you believe in the hocus pocus version of him, where he's the worst. He's like a Klansman or whatever, or just the real version. No, it's just it's tarnished. No, absolutely no. I wouldn't. And if he asked Perry to go on his show, I'd say no. At this point, because it's just that wouldn't do anything. That would be detrimental. It wouldn't. And the audience that he had on Compound was a great audience. The audience he has now, I wouldn't want those people. And yeah, Danko makes a good point too. Perry has a thing too. It's like, in order to get Perry, you really have to hate his guts. And it's like, no, that's not true. I think I've proven that's not true. Yeah, he hates Perry, and he wish like he's one of these guys too. And Perry, by the way, is Perry. Gavin's, by the way, a multi-millionaire, and he's the kind of guy that if Perry ever called him, like let's say had his number or he was close to him, he's like, hey, Gavin, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna be homeless. It's like he would laugh. He would laugh and like laugh at the concept of Perry being homeless and like hang up the phone. And definitely wouldn't put anything on the line for him or anything like that. So yeah, the gay car magnets were, that's another story entirely that I'll get into another time. That I don't think that was from the Henchman either. Oh my god, he was so, it was one of those times too where he called and Perry called me and we've been talking a lot about like setting up the computer and stuff, so I just thought it was a normal phone call. And he was so red hot. He was so crazy. He was just like, these motherfuckers, that fucking up my car. And that's my mailed in Perry because I can't do it right now. But it was one of those moments where I wish like, oh my god, I wish this would have went to voicemail. And in the moment sometimes like, oh Perry, can you call me right back? Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Can you call me right back? And I hung up the phone, and then he called back, but he didn't leave a voicemail, so fucking sucks. Did Brian, the computer guy, see the stickers? No, the stickers was done after that. Dexter says, "I do hate Perry." That's unfortunate. I wish you didn't hate Perry. Doesn't says, I don't know if anybody actively wanted to see Perry homeless. Oh, I disagree with you. I think there's people that did. There was a time when Perry bought expensive supplements and bouncing checks at Costco. Yeah, I know. But, one doesn't equate to the other. Yeah, I gotta say the henchman kind of went a little overboard this week. And it's funny. I had a henchman moment this past week because I have this like a garage, and inside the garage there was this old ladder that was just in there from like the previous owner or whatever, and it's just like beaten up or whatever. And I've left it outside in the garbage. The garbage people wouldn't take it, and I finally I had to go pick something up, and I know there was this big dumpster, so I was like, what, I'm gonna actually put this ladder in the car, which is a big task because it's this big ladder, and I'm going to take it out and dump it in this trash. And I was like, I bet this is what the henchman goes through, the real henchman, where he's doing some housework or whatever, and he has to get rid of this trash somehow. He probably can't put it all out in his personal trash because it's probably like big boxes of stuff. So he probably loads it in his car. He's like, oh well, what better place to dump it than on Perry's patio. So I did have that little like cognizant moment where I was like, oh, this is probably what it's like for the henchman, because I was trying to find a place to unload this stupid ladder. Shady says, I think that's why Perry is my favorite. After following DSP for years, it's nice to have such an entertaining locale that doesn't make you want to hurt them. What does locale mean? Not to sound too boomer-esque, but I've heard that term thrown around, and I don't really understand the definition. And it's kind of like Perry not understanding jib, and you could probably easily Google it. But Mo Green says, I get mad when people don't get Perry irrational. Yeah, I don't get mad. I get disappointed. There's people that I feel like would really get into him, and when they don't, I'm like, you caught him at the wrong moment, or you didn't give it a chance. That's funny that you. This guy says I live 5 minutes from him. It's hard not to unload junk in his patio. Yeah, and I found more junk that I want to get. Like I have this old barbecue grill that was left here, and I was like, I want to get rid of that. Like, I wish I had a Perry near me and I could just unload. Danko says, I love Feel. My feelings towards him have changed many over the years, but I generally love the guy and what he's done for me. He can be unlikable at times, but he has a good heart, and you wouldn't watch him if you didn't appreciate him. Yeah, I think that's kind of the sentiment that a lot of people have, even if they don't want to admit it. Okay, Locale is an unaware loser that is the butt of everyone's jokes, but to the greatest degree. Interesting. Okay. So do people ever like? And again, I'm not a DSP guy. Do people ever watch DSP for like that are genuine? Are most people trolls, or do people actually watch DSP to be into DSP? An internet personality who can't stop making a spectacle of themselves. The idiot who just can't turn off the computer. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That description fits better. Yes, it bothers me when anybody really goes at Perry. But yes, to your comment. DSP's actual fans are literally are literal disabled people or children. Not even an exaggeration or a joke. Yeah, I've only watched like the clips of DSP. I've never. I mean, I never got into DSP. I mean, I never got into DSP. Period. But I never knew of DSP's existence until Scott basically turned me on to him, and the PCL team kind of, in a weird way, manufactured this rivalry with DSP, which turned into a real rivalry, at least on our side. I know DSP doesn't really bite into it, but it's amazing how a manufactured rivalry led to a lot of people from DSP's fan base, whether you're watching for trolling or not, coming over to PCL. Perry is considered a care cow, someone that actually actively capitalizes on their localness. That's interesting. Is Perry done? Yeah, Perry's been done for a hot minute. Yeah, I do know that DSP blocks people aggressively if you mention Perry, like even a whiff of it, he'll block. He'll like even mentioning Perry in any way, it's an insta block. And a lot of people came from that. How would I react if Red Bar started shitting on PCL? I don't think Red Bar would. I don't think it's his. I don't think it's his kind of thing, Mike's kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be a little bummed out that something I like, and not for nothing. I think even talking about Red Bar, even on After Hours, especially when he hasn't been active, I know for a fact that PCL and After Hours combined is responsible for sending a lot of people his way, because I did talk about it a lot. So I know, I want to say a good 50 to 100 people, just based on messages that I've received and everything like that. So I'd be bummed out. But I know the few times he's actually talked about Perry, not he's never talked about Perry, but he's talked about Gavin in relation to Perry in the past. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. And I know it just wasn't for him. So I just don't think it's his kind of thing. I think he usually just goes after bigger fish and people who are genuinely bad people, who are trying to deceive people. That's the hook of Red Bar. He's not just, there's some people he goes after that are just, like your Michael Ray Bowers or something like that, who's just like whatever. But there's a devious nature behind a Michael Ray Bauer, like where he's trying to scam something. And yes, Perry scams here and there, but he's not that level of bad. Can we get Perry to do a 1992 ASMR video? I'm sure you could. Do you see? There you go. Vin only knows Red Bar because of me. So yeah, it would bum me out if Perry ended up on his screen and he was like really shitting on it. Like I'm not gonna lie, that would probably bum me out. But yeah, I'd get over it. Right. So that's what I've heard about DSP is he's a genuinely bad person and a shady dude. I don't think Perry's like shady. Perry's shady and like, he'll sneak things here and there, but he's not actively trying to rip people off. And by the way, to be perfectly honest with you guys, there's plenty of times where Perry could have easily ripped me, like quote unquote ripped me off, and he didn't. So he's not that level. Red Bar goes after people who are trying to be funny. Perry doesn't try to be funny. That's true too. Am I still sitting in my suck ass attic box, Arctic box? Yes, that's true. I am. I read on Wikipedia that Perry tried running for president as a joke. Has Perry ever talked about that on the stream? Not really. No. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it was like. Honestly, it was a thing he got into for a short time. But it was his heart was never really in it because at the time too he was also a Jehovah's Witness, so that was also directly in combat stance with being political in any way. Yeah, the only thing Perry would rip out was my eardrum out of my ear. Yeah, he's come close to doing that a couple of times. Like even Teddy, we were watching Smiling Friends, and I showed it to Teddy, who just turned 4, and he was like, "Is Perry gonna yell? I hate when Perry yells." And I said, "No, I don't think he's gonna yell too much on this." And then he watched and liked it. King Cobra JFS clips. I've heard those ballied about, and I see them come up on YouTube, but no, I've never watched them. What games? I talked about this earlier. Perry, we're gonna start out basic with Perry, like literally like Pac-Man, you know, basic games where you just need a joystick and no buttons. Any game where you just need to move left, right, up, and down with no button pushing or minimum button pushing, and then we're gonna work our way up. That's my point. You know, I'm a little drained. I've had the break was very heavy on tech time with Perry. Yeah, between the computer and a number of other things, I had setting up his like streaming apps and things like that. Just to the point of exhausting. And we did do one test stream. Not we didn't do a stream. We didn't stream, but we did some light gaming. That was okay. Do I think Red Bar is done forever? No, they keep teasing that they're coming back. I mean, I know there's all kinds of rumors that no, I think they're gonna come back, but it's been so long at this point. I don't know what it'll be like when Red Bar does come back, because so many of their big targets have like look at all the shit that happened with Josh Denny. And I know Mike doesn't like it when one of his fools goes mainstream and other people are talking about it. But how can you not, like, what are you going to do? You're going to catch up on everything you missed, or you just jump back in? I don't know. I don't know. I sometimes listen to like an old. There's a period of time with Red Bar a few years ago that I missed out on, so I occasionally listen to that during the day. But yeah, is he playing games on the computer or a console? He's gonna play games on the computer at first. Although I eventually want to get him a Switch that we can capture, from the Switch. But even then, I don't want to get games for like physical games for the Switch because they're so tiny and they would just get lost. So even if you want to get him anything, you know, and down the road, it would just be like, you know, Nintendo gift cards or whatever, so we can buy stuff off the store. Am I a Ruffles or Lay's person? I'm neither. I'm a Wise person. I would go Wise, then Pringles, then Lay's, then Ruffles. Missed would try Perry. Is Perry still going to move soon? No, I wouldn't say soon. Is he going to move? Yes, but I wouldn't say soon. And I like the Switch because it's a good entry level thing. It's like, you know, that Pro controller is great. There's a lot of old games on there. You know, you have access to a lot of you know. Look, Switch. Nintendo almost hates making money in a weird way because they should have the Switch set up much differently. They should have ton more old games on there, but the ones they have are fine. Their basic NES, and SNES, and even Genesis setup right now is fine for him. Richie says, "Isn't Red Bar that talentless hack who just shits on people more talented and successful?" No, I don't know. The people he shits. Name me the people that he shits on that you would say are more talented, successful. Obviously, you know, financially, yes, but I can't think of anybody that Red Bar shits on that I would personally say, "Oh no, that guy's genuinely really good." I can't believe he shits on them. Yeah, Switch is good. Like, I'd like to eventually, God, to get Perry playing Mario Kart, you know, but we're a long way away from that. Yeah, Kitty, I didn't realize I was doing After Hours either, but it's our first stream back, and I did miss you guys, so we're just hanging out. Am I a cheeseburger person or a chicken sandwich? A choice between the two, a good cheeseburger over, and I also like Del Taco, but I don't see how that falls into cheeseburger chicken sandwich. I do like Del Taco, but I don't live anywhere near one. Thankfully, because I'd be the size of Orson Welles if I did. Nintendo announced this thing, I think last week or the week before, where they announced that for people that have the Wii U, they no longer accept credit cards for the Wii U, for the Wii U eShop, which is the sign of things to come. So within a year, the eShop's going to be gone, and it's a shame because the eShop on the Wii U is so far superior to the one on the Switch, and because you can really just get anything you want, like any kind of old games or whatever. And I wish more of that was on the thing. That's why it's funny when I was doing this this media room and I was talking about wiring stuff. One of the things I wired for in the room, because you have to wire for, like, you know, in walls because I'm getting like a TV hung. I want my Wii sensor bar wired to go throughout just because I want the option of playing it. And yeah, you could say the Wii U is a train wreck marketing wise, but first of all, the Wii U is the best hackable home console system ever. You can play everything on there. You can play. It just can play everything. It can play everything. It can play Nintendo 64. It can play GameCube. It can play everything. Is dealing with Perry hard? What keeps me going and not giving up? Yes, it's hard, but what keeps me going is I do generally love Perry. And now, you know, that we're building this brand of PCL and it's doing well, you know, that definitely helps with the drive to, you know, push it further and make it more successful. Vince says being genuinely funny cancels out all misdeeds. That's why Perry and Red Bar are the best. I will agree with that because I enjoy both Red Bar and Perry. Yeah, exactly. If you hack your Wii U, you can have. It's basically having every Nintendo console up through and including Wii U, and every game, and it has a built-in HDMI port. You're not going to do any better than that. It's just and there's games that are on the Wii U that have never been ported to the Switch that are still fantastic. So it's worth seeking. I will say if you have the patience to like hack a system and really like you want to get like all these kind of games on there, it's worth seeking out a Wii U now. Do I have insurance on Perry's PC? No, but I definitely opted for that extra service plan, which I never do. I never do. So yeah, extended warranty, extended service plan, all the bells and whistles. Yeah, it was more expensive than I wanted it to be, but it was a necessary business purchase. Hey, Cha Cha, I love and miss you too. Yeah, we're okay. I'm still getting over this frog in my throat, but working. The modded Nintendo 64, there's a chip shortage, so the mod that I want for the Nintendo 64 has been sold out forever. It's what's the name of it? I wrote it down here somewhere. Um, it's called the Pixel FX, right? I believe that's what it is. Uh, it's this chip for the Nintendo 64 that basically it's basically an HDMI board that gets you got to hard mod it into the Nintendo 64. So you got to know what you do. Yeah, basically you got to send it to somebody who knows what they're doing because I don't. I'm not big on soldering or anything like that. So you pay somebody to mod it for you, but getting the chip, they're all out. They're constantly out of stock, and I'm on a list. So if it comes back in stock, I'm going to get the chip. So you get the chip, that gets sent to you, and then you send the system to somebody who can mod it, and they will basically install the chip with the HDMI port. And what the HDMI port does in the Nintendo 64 is it bypasses. There's a digital to analog converter in the 64 where it starts as a digital source and then outputs to analog, for like regular composite video, because that was, 1996, that's what you did. There was no digital TVs. What this does is it bypasses that and you get a pure digital signal converted to HDMI. So it looks a million times better than if you would just play it on a regular TV with even like a regular analog to digital connection. So that's really what you're paying for with the chip. And then you can mod for, all these, you can do all kinds of things visually. And then I got this thing called the EverDrive, which is a cartridge, but has an SD card slot so you can put ROMs in it. So that's where I'm at. I got to wait for the board to come in and then buy that and send it out to be modded. So I'm a ways away from that. It's on one of my multiple to-do lists. Like everything else, it's a thing. Yeah, you can do that with you get an EverDrive for the SNES. I think the only system that really merits it though is the 64, because the 64 has a problem with emulation, and I've heard people do it on the Genesis because of the sound card inside the Genesis sounds better. How much after it's all done? Well, figure you can get a Nintendo 64 used for about, let's say, $80, under $100 for sure. The EverDrive is expensive. The EverDrive's about $125 for the EverDrive, and they have knockoffs of the EverDrive, but you should buy the original EverDrive. So let's say 200. Then for the chip, all in, probably with the modification and everything, and all the accessories, you're probably looking at $400. But keep in mind, you'll have every game ever released for the system on your EverDrive, and it'll be perfect HDMI quality, and if that's worth it to you. I have my modded consoles and RetroPie hooked up to CRTV, Nintendo 64. Yeah, see, I can't use the CRTV. I'm not into the CRTV. I've seen it on the HDMI. It looks good enough to me. I mean, look, obviously, these games were not designed for the digital age. But I'm not getting a CRTV. There's no way. I don't understand that. I want to play it on as big a screen as possible, and yeah, I know it's gonna not look great, but it'll still look pretty good. I wonder if they're bringing back the ET game. I don't think so. It's funny though. In the world of shitty games, ET isn't even on like the top 10. There's so many more shittier games than that. Like I've said a couple of times, I have no nostalgic attachment to Atari. I grew up with Atari, but Atari is so shitty. It was shitty then, and it's shitty now, and uh, it's there's no nostalgia for it because it's just so bad. My favorite Nintendo 64 game is Mario 64, but a very close second is Mario Kart 64 and Star Fox 64. Those are the three I played the most. Can you bring back the Big Three game for mobile? That no, because I think the guy who created it, you know, uh, I don't know whatever happened to him, but no, you can get the Android version because that's you can install that manually. But as far as the Apple version, you're out of luck on that. And I don't think it. I don't know if it can be converted. There's this thing on it's an app that you pay for. I forget how much it is, but it's called the NES Maker, and you can design. And even if you're not really a designer, you can play. You can make your own NES games. And I kind of want to make a PCL game. I just want to make a shitty NES game. And my idea for the game is that you're a delivery driver in the game, and you got to go to Perry's apartment, and you got to deliver food without getting screamed at, or so, something like that. I just want it to be extra like shitty, and you got to tiptoe down the hallway. You got to knock on the door and leave before he answers the door. It's like, what the fuck is this, or get the fuck out of here, and you got to make as many deliveries as possible, without getting without riling Perry. It's kind of like Don't Wake the Wiggler in in Mario Party, if you know what that is. You kind of I haven't figured out all the beats of it, but that was my idea for the PCL game. Is you're the delivery driver, and you somehow have to. And then maybe you get bonus. Maybe you get like crazy bonus points if you're able to successfully use his bathroom. or you can maybe play as the henchman. You can come in through the patio. Like the goal of the game, like to really like win the game, you got to find a way to get in the apartment. Yeah, points for picking. Yeah, the heavier the items, the more points you'll get. Like whatever you drop off. Yeah, reskin the old any Nightmare on Elm Street game. That would not. You're right. That would be a perfect fit. Night mode would be baby mode. Yeah, but I see that it's called. I think it's called NES Builder, NES Maker, and it's just you can just make your own crappy game. And I'd like to do the PCL theme song in like 8-bit, and just like have it start and like have like a really pixelated version of Perry, like screaming at like a freeze frame screaming at the screen. Like doot 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 doot, and it just be a complete piece of shit. Because I do have a thing for shitty NES games. Sometimes I can get into them, but yeah, because you wouldn't want to be too good. But yeah, so I don't know anything about game developing or anything like that, but I did want to. That was my gem of an idea. I got to work out the beats of it or how it would work. What Perryism is pissing me off the most lately? Boy, that's a great question. I will say the in the snow stuff is really getting on my nerves. And like I said, it's just and I know it's funny and and I have fun with it sometimes, but it's just him saying the words in the snow. I'm in the snow. Wednesday, I'm in the snow. Drives me up a wall. There's certain little words he says that just cut right through me. Like, oh, I hate when he says that. Oh, you know what he's doing lately? I noticed it tonight, and I think he maybe did on New Year's Eve. He's saying mother effer weird. Like he's almost like doing a character where he's getting into that like fake voice territory. He's going like, "Yeah, motherfucker," like he's saying like "mudda." I don't know where that came from. Like that's been annoying me lately. Like he said it multiple times tonight, and he was either calling it to me or saying it to somebody else. Oh yeah. The lie is my number one. I've said that before. When he goes lie, that drives me crazy. But yeah, the motherfucker. I don't know where that came from. It's very recent. I don't know. And the fake voice overall kind of drives me crazy. That's when we know. That's when we know we've really made it. Is when we get to the end of the season, right? We get into March, and then all of a sudden he just reboots back to Thanksgiving Day, like sometime in March, right? You're gonna get him saying, "Thanksgiving Day, I'm in the snow," and then we just reset the whole clock. Yeah, but there's other things too, like when he calls his glasses his eyes. I gotta get my eyes on. You know, and then sometimes things bother me and sometimes don't. I don't know if it's really a fake voice. It just seems like he's stressing his voice extra hard, needlessly. Like he's doing that Wolfman Jack voice, but it's like you can tell when Perry's really mad. He does that high banshee voice, like like that voice. But then when he's doing that fuck yeah, like he's putting it on. He's still mad, but he's also putting it on at the same time. And fake voice is kind of a new development, and yeah, it's like there's two versions of baby mode. Like baby mode when he does like, that's genuine baby mode, and then he does that fake voice thing. But I do like when and funny, I had that Chiron, that text that says fake voice. I had to stop using it because it sets him off so bad. It sets him off so much that like he'll shut the computer off, and I kind of had to dial it back. What's my pet peeve from viewers? That's a good question. Not too many really. I get sick of the '92 stuff over and over again, but but at the same point, I understand that other people love it. I'm trying to think if there's any. Not really, because I appreciate anybody that contributes to the stream. So, um, I don't know. Yeah, when he gets fidgety and starts moving the desk stuff around, absolutely. Yeah, obviously, you hear me mention it so many times. Obviously, that annoys me. There's sometimes in the regular chat that I see people mentioning things that like Perry it never resonated with Perry. I'll give you an example. Like when somebody says congratulations to Perry, there was literally one stream where he was affected by that, and when people keep hitting him with something like that, like okay, well he doesn't really. That worked on one stream, maybe two, but they're hitting it like it's a consistent trope, and it's not. And that doesn't annoy me. It's just something I recognize. Like oh okay, like he's not gonna and I almost feel like he's not gonna bite on that because he doesn't remember what congratulations was. Congratulations came about when he he was mad because his lawsuit with Pablo went south and he didn't get what he thought he was going to get, and people were saying congratulations and it really set him off. But he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember that. Deco says he's over 92 himself. Yeah, I'm with you. When he retells it with a twist, when there's some kind of gimmick where he's retelling it, I think that's genuinely funny. But the constant hitting, I like, every time I think we're gonna move past it, and it's all up to him too, because if he goes hot on it, if he goes really crazy on it, it's just gonna keep coming. Like 666 is a good example. Like he like tonight. I'm blocking everybody that types 666. Well, of course you're going to get flooded with 666. And yeah, it's an easy way to get him pissed off. But there's I really like new things that set him off. Like the microwave, or snowboarding, obviously. Even though I'm almost at my wit's end with that. Yeah, Cha Cha says she wants to hear the elaboration on his family cutting poop out of him. I tried to get into that, but I just couldn't get in. I just couldn't get in. I couldn't bring myself to ask him about the details of that. Why doesn't he like anybody to see his new PC, Dustin? Because he hated. By the way, I had my friend Brian take that picture of him where you see him with the new PC, and he was adamant, "Do not post this online." I said, "Well, I want people to see you have a new computer that we're going to be coming back soon. Do not send that picture out." And then it was when I sent it out, he was super pissed off because I do not want somebody breaking in here knowing that I have this Lexus of a computer. So he doesn't like talking about it because he doesn't want anybody breaking in try to steal his computer. So, which and me saying that should probably instigate people to send in things like, "I'm planning on stealing your computer. When you're asleep, I'm going to sneak in and steal my computer," and then he'll blame it on me. "See, I told you, you fucking asshole. You shouldn't have fucking put the picture up because now they're trying to steal my computer. You son of a bitch." The TomB Indian text hammer could be a running gag, especially with the new computer. Yeah, maybe I'll get back to that. I don't have the voice to do it now. And honestly, after all the tech support, the Perry tech we did the past week or so, God, I can't even fathom that. His new PC looks like a gay club with tiny gays inside. It does. It has one of those port windows. I don't like that with PCs. When I built mine, I made sure not to have one of those port windows. I hate the windows in these PC. I can't stand them. Yeah, you're not wrong on that. Yeah, it's funny. I couldn't help myself even when my friend Brian was over his place. We were at our wits' end with this computer, and there was, I forget what it was. There was something that wasn't working. Oh, I know what it was. This was annoying because Brian had reconnected a lot of the ports in his computer that were previously plugged in, like his printer, his microphone, stuff like that. But he also reconnected the hub for his old mouse, and his old mouse was like back in the box or something. And it was dangling around, and the screen was glitching on the setup screen. I was like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?" And we couldn't figure it out. Eventually, I figured it out that, the old mouse is connected, and it must be somewhere that it's preventing the new mouse from working. Anyway, I said to Brian at one point, and it was really just to Brian's in the chat. Brian's in the chat. He's Robinson Gunn. That's Brian. He said he's still having PCD from that carpet under the. Oh my God, yeah. And Brian had never been in there before. He had never been in there before. And he was like, "Oh my God." He's like, "Have you ever been under that desk?" I was like, "Many times, my friend, many times." But I had mentioned to Brian, I said, "Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to get the pin out. We need to get the pin out of that the patio to fix it." But no, they're not gonna, you stupid ass. Because every now and then, like, as frustrating, it could be just like a regular day, and I do need to do one thing to like amuse myself and break up the monotony. So that was my thing. The best version of the '92 story was when Tom played Perry during TomB Week. Thank you. How bad was the smell, Brian? That question is for you. How bad was the smell? Horrendous. Any eggs under there? Yeah, the carpet. Again, Brian also he's with me. We want to get Perry a new bed, and he won't do it. But we think that carpet just has to be laid. You have to take, even before he moves, like, take all the furniture out, and then just rip that carpet up, get a new carpet on it, but at least get a new carpet because it's so bad. We missed you too, Dustin. Dustin says, "Tom, really missed you guys when you were on break. It was terrible." I'm sorry. I hope it wasn't that bad for people. I know we don't normally take these big breaks, but I'm sorry that it caused you stress. Good. I'm glad some people picked up on the Red Bar PCL return list. I knew that was going to be for a very minority audience. Not too many people would get the the checklist reference, but a few people did and messaged me like, "Hey, that's a great Red Bar reference," and that if a couple of people got it, that's great. Get him a Murphy bed. It'd be better than what he has now. It's funny. I went into a little bit. There was one night last week where I was like, I called him and I said, "Hey Perry, do you want to just go on live, like just like do a surprise stream?" And I it was because I kind of missed it. I kind of like missed. He's like, "Nah, not really." like he was. I almost had him to like maybe agree to do it, and it was towards the end of last week when we were after the computer was set up. We weren't quite there yet with all the installations that needed to get on. Are the pajama pants guys actually going to go to Perry's place this season? I hope so. I was texting with Robert during the TomB week, one of the TomB week replays, maybe the third one, and he was like, it was the first time he was seeing parts of it. He was like, "Oh my god, this is insane!" And I said, "Well, you have an open invitation to the next TomB week. You and Cass from Pajama Pants. So whether or not they would actually want to is something different." Oh, Charlotte says the break was sad, but since she's a new, yeah, Charlotte's a real new fan. Uh, the YouTube videos soothe your soul. Yeah, I'm gonna do more YouTube premieres. Although, the I'm gonna do more YouTube. I'm actually gonna do a lot of YouTube uploads with older streams. But the next one in line is the one that we did after TomB week, and I'm not. It's just I looked through it, and man, I sound fried on it. I know Perry was fried, and I think I called it the Hangover stream because it was like there was some good stuff on there. Perry got a big delivery. The henchman visited. It's just not worthy of a YouTube premiere, so I think I'm just going to do that as a regular upload. But then after that, there's a couple of really good ones, and one I was looking at recently. These are all from June. I forgot the one where Perry got the cardboard cutout of his brother Brian, and he had to do. First of all, he had to stab it, which he did well. But then he had to do "All Hail King Brian," where he had to get on his knees and hail Brian. It was like taped up in the back by his dining room, and I just forgot how much he flipped out on that. Like he just went crazy. Like he couldn't do it. It was I forget how much he got paid to do it. He was just like on his knees, and all he had to do was go, "All hail King Brian! All hail King Brian!" And I think I called it the King Brian stream. I forget the exact date. I think it's like the 25th of June. But I just forget little beats of things. Even with TomB week when I was watching like that volume 3, holy shit! I was there and I forgot about things we did. I was like, oh my god, this is insane! Like I couldn't believe it. Like I was part of it. So I miss PCL, but I watched a bunch of old streams on Patreon to get me through. Oh, God, sorry. I'm gonna have a lot of those. When's the next TomB week? I don't know. Maybe the earliest it would be in the spring. Speaking of Patreon, I know for the credenza level people, we had to take down a bunch of older videos because Vimeo, the video provider, was giving us a hard time with the bandwidth thing. But anyway, all those are going back up. So hopefully by the end of this week, they should all be back up. Most of them are back up now. I think through June they're up. And then there's a few left I gotta re-upload from July, but they'll all be back up because I know a lot of people are hitting me up about that. It was a crazy week that Tommy like revisiting it, and thinking about taking time off. I really should have taken a good 2 weeks off after TomB week, but at the time we were going for partnership with Twitch. I was a slave to the schedule. I was like, no, we got to be back on that Wednesday, and it was just it was not a good idea. If we do another TomB, will there be an event like for people flying and hang out? I don't know. Um, I was actually talking to Tony Hawk about I don't know, so a few days ago. He made a really good point where he was saying how I know we talk about Vegas as like a big get together for PCL or a PCL live event. He said Palm Springs might be the better be the better choice for that, and deep down I kind of think he's right. Even though Palm Springs is kind of a pain in the ass to get to if you don't live in California, but if it was something like that, then yeah, hot toddy sounds good. Tea with lemon. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of tea with lemon and honey. I've been doing every little homebrew I can think of, cha cha. I mean, I've had this since New Year's, like the day before New Year's. It's still here. My favorite, you know what my favorite part of the taser is? For some reason, the frequency of the taser, even when I used it like way in the back, it came over through the microphone. Like for some reason, the microphone really picked up on the frequency of the taser, so it made that extra like sound. Like there's a lot of little work I had to do with the TomB Week uploads where I had to boost my audio from the back and things like that, but I didn't have to do anything to the taser. It was just automatically loud. Any chance of doing something with Perry in New York? Yeah, I want Perry to come to New York at some point this year. I mean, honestly, if it was up to me, he'd move to New York, but I don't see that being a possibility. His cousin Sam, not his cousin Sam, his cousin Mark, by the way, is moving out of California because he got a job. That's a big deal. So it's one less reason for Perry to necessarily stay in California, but it's an ongoing discussion. I want Perry, at the end of the day, I want Perry to be happy and comfortable where he is. We'd be so drunk we could all need our something. Yeah, I just think I think Palm Springs is more of a hang. And if you ever been to Palm Springs is really fun. And if we could all get like the same hotel with like a nice pool, they have like really cool like hotels with pools, whatever. And then you go downtown, you get a venue to do stuff, and yeah, you can just. It's kind of it's more of a hangout town than Vegas because Vegas is kind of just all encompassing and overwhelming, and this would be more dialed down. You know what I mean? So there's that. And yeah, I know how hot Palm Springs is, Shaw. I've been to Palm Springs. I've been to Palm Springs in the summer. It's hot for sure. Has Perry left California since moving there? Yes, but sporadically. He's not the biggest traveler as you would imagine. But yeah, so Mark's moving to Washington State. I think sometime in the spring, which is kind of a bummer because he's a good guy to have. I know Perry's a little bummed out about it. On a scale of 1 to 10, do I think Perry will remove the tattoo? Um, I'm gonna say 3. It's gonna take a lot. Look, think about the things that we've accomplished in a very short time. We never thought he'd turn around the microwave. He turned around the microwave. We never thought he'd smash the microwave. He smashed the microwave. There's a lot of things he did that even I, with all my influence, didn't think we could do. There's always a way. There's always a way to get that thing. But he's got to willingly accept it. He's got to willingly want to do it. That's the trick. Yeah, I'm with you, Dustin. I'm in no. I'm in no rush to rush out to California either. Where are you now, Charlotte? That you move into Washington State? And by the way, Washington State's beautiful. Good luck on the move. Next is smash. I would like to like shred the snowboard. Like get one of those like industrial shredders and like really just like obliviate it. Yeah, Vegas is hot, but Vegas doesn't get as hot as Palm Springs. Vegas is just so busy, but again, Vegas is just easier for other people. Like think if you're coming to a PCL event and you're flying from somewhere random, like it's a pain in the butt. Palm Springs has an airport, but you know it's a very small airport and there's no direct flights. Yeah, it's true. Palm Springs is closer and has PCL history. You're right. I mean, think about all the things that you could do in Palm Springs. We can go. We can all go to the We can go to the Haagen-Dazs. We can actually go to the Haagen-Dazs. We can go to the place where Kevin Spacey bought Perry an ice cream cone. Yeah, the wood chipper is what I was thinking of. I got caught in this algorithm because Teddy likes watching ball machines, like literally colored balls, like on YouTube, and we got in this algorithm of watching people putting balls in a grinder, like beach balls, volleyballs, bowling balls, you know, 8 balls, and now when I turn on YouTube, it gets all these algorithms of grinding things, and I was looking at that. I was like, oh man, that snowboard would look so sweet in this. Yeah, Liberace's pool. That's another one. Yeah, we can do it at Palm Springs Perry Tour for sure. Like there's so many things that I'm not even thinking of. We could see, yeah. I don't know how far we want to go with the full commitment of Perry recreating the poop story. Yeah. It doesn't we can bring cans of chili to Phyllis Diller's grave. No, Kevin Spacey did not buy Perry ice cream, obviously, because the story happens in 1978. But Perry is thinking of some. But I think somebody semi-famous did buy Perry ice cream, and it could have been a TV star or somebody who he's confusing, and maybe his first name is Kevin. I'd love to know who it was. I don't think we'll ever truly know. We'd have to really research who was famous. Everybody who was famous in 1978 that was between the age of 30 and 50, male, and really break it down and analyze it. We could spend a whole night on it and really like just do our diligent research. Could it be this guy? Could it be this guy? Could it be this guy? Does the guy look like Kevin Spacey? Does the guy have mannerisms? Did he play the same kind of parts that Kevin Spacey plays? It's something like that. And I just don't know if we're ever really going to get to the bottom of it because he's locked into the fact that it's Kevin Spacey. You have to meet Perry's hairstylist to confirm that she's 85% blind. Oh, man. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Let's figure out. Okay, look, it would take some research. You got to okay. So figure out who had a place. You know, Palm Springs was a big place, especially in the '60s and '70s for celebrities to have their homes. So who had a home in Palm Springs? That we're not talking Sinatra famous or Dean Martin famous, but somebody semi-famous. Maybe they had a TV show or something. You know, but who lived in Palm Springs and who could fit the bill? I'm sure we can narrow it down to within 20 people. TomB, I'd really love some deep dives into those tales like Linda and the Cats and RC, like Shuley-esque reporting. Yeah, I know, but the problem with Perry is he's such an unreliable narrator that it changes all the time. I don't know if I said this. I think I did. I sent a text message to Linda Johnson, the real Linda Johnson, and I asked her about coming. I wanted her to be a guest on New Year's Eve, to give her story of the cat thing, and she had said no. But I think with her, I think money will talk. So I think just raising enough money to pay Linda to come on the stream, and it doesn't have to be video. It could just be like a phone thing. To really get her side of the whole cat thing, because let's not forget she's what started all this is the text message that Perry had screenshotted for me where she had said to him, "I'll never forget. I'll never forgive you for what you did to my cat." That's all we had to go on. That's all we had to go on. We all know Perry's version, but there's something that happened there. There's something nefarious that happened with these cats or cat singular. So it'd be nice to hear from her and her story, but she was not interested at the time. But I will still work on it. Paul Lynde did have I think Paul Lynde maybe had. I don't know if Paul Lynde was well off enough to have a home in Palm Springs, but he was definitely a Palm Springs regular. Could be Paul Lynde. You know, Kevin Spacey looks a lot like Paul Lynde in certain kind of framing. There's a lot of similarities there. You might not be wrong, but I think Paul Lynde was such a distinctive character that Perry would recognize, like, hey kid, why don't you take this ice cream cone? My goodness, you're such a wonderful skateboarder. You know, it's just like, I've never seen anybody skateboard like that. Have a chocolate. I don't know. Yeah, Linda called Perry a John. That was a vicious text. I forget all the beats of it. Yeah, she called. She said to him, "You were nothing more than a John. I have a husband now that buys me things." Like, she's definitely, definitely. She's definitely hustling for some coin. The Gene Hackman. I don't know about Gene Hackman. I think Gene Hackman was rocking the mustache in the '70s. Got to be clean shaven. So yeah, but the answer is out there somewhere. It's funny. Somebody, you always get into these conversations with friends where you're like, "Oh, what would you do if you can go back in time?" And now that I think about it, like, there's a couple of time travel. Like, if I had some like points to use, or like, let's say I had like 20 magic coins that can bring me back in time to any point. I think I'd use at least two or three of them on Perry. Like, I want to go back and see what this story. I want to go back and witness this moment in Perry history. I want to witness the poop story. Maybe Kevin Spacey isn't so much the actor's name, but the character's name. See, that's very Perry-esque. Now you're breaking it down. We got to think of all those elements. When is the estimate of Cameo being done? I purchased one the week before Christmas for my men at Sylvan. Oh, you should have gotten it by now. The Cameos expire within 7 days. If Perry doesn't deliver it within 7 days, they automatically expire. So if you didn't get it by now, I don't know of him ever missing one. But contact me privately if you have an issue with him. Um, um, with Cameo for any reason. I know he missed a couple this week. He'd like to witness the prostitute. That would be another one. The prostitute refund. It's a lot of little moments. But listen. You're talking about. Let's say everybody here gets 10 coins, right? And each coin represents one trip back in time, and full return trip. You can come back, and you can go anywhere you want. You can witness whatever. You can witness greatness. You can witness history. You could go anywhere you want. How many of those coins? I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to use all 10 on Perry. Would I have Perry try Salt Bay's restaurant and review it? He's famous dude. You know what? I'm kind of sick of. I was into Salt Bay when he was just an Instagram guy, and he was like, he had a couple of steakhouses in like Turkey. He has this steakhouse in New York. I haven't been there, and I'm a big steakhouse guy. But the prices that this guy, the balls on this guy that he charges, for no, I mean, you'd have to take a loan to go out to dinner there. So as far as him reviewing it, I mean, God, no, I don't know. And I've heard his steaks are just okay. Like, they're good, but they're not any better than any other steakhouse, any other high end steakhouse. But he's definitely the most expensive. Perry needs his own show where he's the boss of some huge organization, making idiotic decisions. Well, I think he's got that nailed. Acting like an ass, check. And his loyal crew keeps things going for him. But it would be reality based. Yeah, I could see that. You want to see Perry skateboard before the accident? Well, Bobby, I think that's kind of a waste of a coin there. Pretty sure Perry's confusing Chris D'Elia with Chris Elliott. Has he brought up Chris D'Elia recently? I don't even know if he knows. I think no. I think honestly, I think he knows who Chris D'Elia is, kind of, sort of, because I think he knew. Again, he's a big news hound sometimes, and when Chris D'Elia got into that trouble like 2 years ago, whatever, with like I don't know whatever he was doing, like coming on to like 16-year-old girls or whatever he was doing. I think Perry knew that Chris D'Elia was guilty of that, but thought Chris D'Elia is somebody else. If that makes any sense. I want my coin slapping Perry. Oh my God, Perry around in Disneyland before the spaghetti incident. Yeah. Perry hosted The Apprentice. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Joey, you're fired. Ooh, Get Smart's Don Adams lived in Palm Springs. Could it be Don Adams? You know what? That's pretty good. I could see that likeness there. But I think again, like he's of that age where he would know who Don Adams is. At least I would think so. You know what I mean? I don't know. Uh, is there a password for the? No. The auction site needs to be worked on, and I was doing that over the break too. Believe me. But yeah, I'll announce that as soon as it's ready. Did I ever meet Bob Saget? No. I never any no possibility of it either. Like I wasn't really a huge fan, but sorry that he died. Is it possible that Perry was talking about Bobby Darin? See, that's a great call, Mike. He lived in Palm Springs, and Kevin Spacey played him in a movie. Oh yeah, but he did die in '73. Shit, you're right. Yeah, that's no, because it has to be '78. I want to see the day Perry met Nick Shadursky when Nick snuck up on Perry when he was hitting on someone else's girlfriend in front of that boyfriend. Uh, that would young Perry would be a young wise ass Perry would be a good call. I mean, look, as sick as I am of the '92 story, and as grossed out as I might be, but I'm using a coin on Total Eclipse Productions. Of course I am. We all got to pool together our coins. It's got to be like in Avengers Endgame when the Avengers pick different points in time to go back and get the Infinity Stones. And okay, this team is going back to the 1940s. This team, you're going to go to this side of the universe. This team's going here. We'd have to have teams. All right, Tom and Danko, you're going to Total Eclipse. And then the other team doesn't know. No, we want to go to. All right, we can all. All right, we're all going to use our coins on one. Let's just all agree we're all going to use our coins on Total Eclipse. Okay, let's go here. And then all right, you guys, you're going to Haagen-Dazs. Okay, you guys, you're going to be in Perry's apartment in Canoga Park where he choked his ex-wife. It's just here's the one where God, there's so many. Perry, yeah, just have really pool our resources. We only have a certain amount of coins we have to use, and we're on a mission. And then you got to document it somehow. And then when we come back, we all discuss what we saw. But I think it has to be choreographed. Do I think if I met Perry as a 10-year-old, that me and him would be friends and hit it off? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, I don't think he was into the kind of things that I was into as a 10-year-old. Can we use camera phones to record it? Yes, I'm going to say yes. We can use camera phones, and we're going to be silent observers. It'd be basically Dean Stockwell and Quantum Leap. You can see, we can see and interact with each other, but nobody else can see us. You know what I mean? So we're going to go there. We're going to hang out. We're going to see what we see, document it, and we're going to come home. Ooh, that's a good one too. JP says when Perry supposedly And thank you for saying supposedly. Got grabbed in the ass visiting Hollywood, fanning his fear of homosexuals. Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. Yeah, I got to go to the freeway ramp. You got to get in the car with the Shannon Doherty lookalike. But yeah, that really. Okay, let's just agree we're gonna spend the whole day. We're gonna spend 48 hours in 1992. I want to be on the set of the whole shoot. I want to follow him when he gives the directions. I want to see what he does later that night, and I want to be in his apartment when he gets the phone call from RC the next morning. I want to be on the drive there. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, we gotta we might need we might need a couple of coins to really fulfill the 92 thing. Yeah. Did wait? Did Perry? Did it, wow. Okay, so you might be referring to something I either forgot about or don't know. A dozen none says, "I want to know why Perry went from Perry's family went from wealthy to middle class in California. They had a housekeeper in Chicago. What happened? I didn't know that he had a housekeeper. Or maybe I did and I forgot. Yeah, a little stinker. Yeah, Perry was a driver for a prostitution ring. Yes, I mean I don't know if ring. He was a driver for an escort service, and at one point he also converted into being a paid gigolo, and he had one confirmed client as a paid as a paid male gigolo. Yeah, Balloon Boy stuff is good too. Yeah, Charlotte, that's a good call. But we can't interfere with what happened. By the way, we don't have the ability to interfere. We're just witnesses of. We're witnessing history, but we're not altering it. So you can't stop him from doing anything. From doing anything. As morbid as it sounds, hmm, I'd be kind of curious to see the car crash, and also when he came out of the coma. What's the Mandy? What's the best way to get a hold of me? You can whisper me here on Twitch, Perry Caravello Live, like here, right here. You can just send me a whisper. I'll get that. You can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. On Instagram, I'm at Tom Brennan NY. Also Twitter, you can just DM me. But yeah, we'll figure it out because I don't have access to his cameos right now. I'd have to talk to him about it, but it is not like him to miss a cameo. He's usually very good about that. Although having said that, I know he missed two. I actually know he missed two this week, but he's even good at making those up. So yeah, shoot me a message and I'll work that out for you and let me know what the cameo was and everything. Give me the specifics and we'll figure it out. That's another good. Perry working in the grocery store, maybe like getting. Oh, didn't he get in trouble? Didn't I'd like to see Perry in the grocery store when the Phyllis Diller was doing her live appearance about her chili. Phyllis Diller had a brand of chili, and Perry apparently went off on her and told her that her chili sucked, and he was an employee of the store. I kind of want to see that. Your chili sucks. You're not Carol Shelby. God, so many possibilities. I want to use a coin this week to see if he's lying about using Pornhub on his new computer. God, I'm gonna. It's like, oh, so yeah, like whoever the genie is that gives you these coins, like, oh, okay, Tom, yeah, it's time to give back the coins now. Did you learn anything from your experience? Did you go back and see who built the pyramids? No. Did you go back and like maybe check in on Napoleon or some of the great warriors throughout history? Did you meet Alexander the Great? Did you go? No, no, I didn't do any of that. Did you see the fall of Rome? No, no, I didn't see the fall of Rome. Oh, what did you do? Did you see the Industrial Revolution? No, 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 I didn't do that. I chose to go another route. Well, I must ask you, how did you use these coins? Well, I'm really into this guy. I'm really into this guy named Perry Caravello, and he's not the most reliable guy when it comes to storytelling. So I just wanted to check up on a few things. So I went back to 1992 to see exactly what happened between him and his casting director. It's a long story; you won't really understand. Oh, I'm very confused. Most people go back and they see great moments throughout the history of time, and you just follow this one guy. Yeah, you know what? The curiosity got the best of me. Yeah, it's gonna be very. The genie's gonna be so disappointed. Like, I can't believe I wasted these coins on you. Ooh, Perry's first stand-up's a good call too. Yeah, he'd maybe give you bonus coins. Try again, my son. You have failed. I, I won't regret a single second of it. I won't regret it either. Yeah, tell the genie. Hey, Genie, there's this live stream you really got to get into. It's called Perry Caravello Live. Yeah, he's supposed to be on 3 days a week, but the fucker now is only doing Monday and Friday. But trust me, it's worth investing in. Messy said when I first found this channel, I made a clip that was counterintuitive to the vibe of the channel, and had my clipping privileges revoked. Is there any way to get? Is that even a thing? Can you revoke privileges? I mean, I we turned off clips on the channel, so nobody has clipping privileges right now. But yeah, shoot me a whisper. I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't even know if that's a Twitch thing. If you can revoke clip privileges from like one person or not. Yeah, that's another good call too. Yeah. So you want me to materialize 200 filet of fish sandwiches in this one guy's apartment? You don't want money or gold or to know who wins the next 50 Super Bowls? No, no, no. The 200 filet of fishes will be just fine, thank you. Preferably while he's sleeping. Yeah. I just there's so many things you can do with that. Okay, Mandy, I got your message, and I will respond to you sooner than later. I actually probably got to wrap this up because I'm getting really cold in this room, and it's not doing my throat any good. So I should probably go. Yeah, we've been rolling for 8 hours and 45 minutes. But I wanted to check in with you guys after our break, see how you're all doing. Um, I really missed hanging out with everybody. I missed the PCL community, even though the community was still around and everything like that. It's not the same when the PCL machine isn't rolling out, new stuff. So and I'm very aware of that. Every now and then though, you do got to take some time to. I know everybody was getting a little burnt out, between myself, Garrett, Joey, and Perry. I know a lot of people get a little aghast and burnt out. I was feeling it after New Year's Eve, especially because I was so sick. I really battled through that stream. I was sweating. I was just I was I was trying not to let on just how bad I was, but I was really bad, and I definitely needed some downtime. Like, there's no way I could have returned and like come back that Sunday. Like, there was somebody messaging me like, no stream today, dude. I was like, yeah, we just did this huge New Year's Eve stream. Like, no, there's not going to be on that Sunday. So every now and again, you do need to take a little bit of a hiatus just to recharge your batteries. Every show has it. You know, you got to take a little bit of time to just come back and like, you know, want to do it again. Because I was really, if we had to do streams that next week, I don't know how I would have done it. Especially because I was sick and I was very burnt out on the whole thing. And even saying that, I was working on PCL stuff over the break, so it was just nice to take some time off. At least for me, I know some people really missed it, but I think, you know, you got to give a chance to miss something a little bit. TomB will never fix that room. It's his cold excuse is way too ironclad. I know, right? No, I have to. I have to. I'm getting way too much shit for it from other people in my life that this room isn't fixed yet. So, but anyway, yeah, we had a good run. You know, we've been pretty consistent. I think most people too. They even streamers they take some downtime at the beginning of the year. So I think that'll be, you know, God willing, we're still doing this a year from now, and you know, we don't get banned from the internet or anything like that. I think the same thing will happen next year. But yeah, I agree with Danko. I hope all the sick people out there feel better. Everybody that's sick for whatever reason, I hope you feel better. And yeah, Garrett's gonna come back in the apartment. I think I worked something out with Garrett that he would come in like once a month or something like that. You don't want to overdo it. But yeah, time away to appreciate something. I think that's the way to put it. But we're back, and I can't promise a stream on Wednesday, but eventually I do want to do Wednesdays again, and we will get back to doing Sundays. But for now, we're going to do at least through the end of January. We're going to do Monday and Friday. Okay, and they're long streams, by the way. You know, so obviously tonight was, you know, over 6 hours. So you're definitely getting a lot. You're definitely getting a lot of Perry. It's still in 1 week. But anyway, I will talk to you guys during the week. Anybody that has any kind of issues with any kind of service PCL provides, please feel free to hit me up. Yes, the New Year's show is on Patreon. Again, all the streams are on Patreon the next day, within 24 hours of the stream ending. If I can get them up quicker, I will. So this one will be up tomorrow. But yeah, General Dipwad. By the way, you really made the stream tonight, so I want to thank you personally. Your offers were phenomenal, off the chart good. You know, there were parts of tonight where I thought Perry was a little low energy, but overall he was really good. But you helped it make it extra better. So if it wasn't for your offers, which I think really took the stream, everybody actually with the offers, but especially General Dipwad, really phenomenal job tonight. So thank you for making my job a little easier. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out after hours. It's great to hang out again. It's great to see you guys. I really did miss you guys. I missed PCL, and I'm glad we're back in that PCL train. And thank you to all the new people. I had a lot of new people message. Perry's gained a ton of Twitter followers over the past week just because of Smiling Friends. By the way, if you're not following Perry on Twitter, please do so. Only because I'm very close to getting him verified. And I'm not getting him verified just so he can have the stupid blue check mark. I need him verified because I want to get some kind of support from Twitter on a number of different things. But he's at Perry_Caravello. If you're on Twitter, you have a Twitter, just slap him a follow, even if you don't really do it. Thanks, Chrissy. I'm going to try to feel better. I'm going to try to rest up. I'm going to try to be 100% for Friday. But, you know, who knows? I thought I'd be over this a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So, thanks to everybody, and I will see you on Friday.